Canyon. This is a pretty big map. Polar spawns of the two bases there. Let's just zoom those in so we can see them there. They haven't enabled me to inform them. I think it's about 650. 650 radius. But here we go. Nimzo Dragonlord versus Diskraip on Canyon. Orange Nimzo Dragonlord on the North spawn. Going bots first. Most likely into air second. So there we go. Straight away. Not even with power gens. Power gens coming afterwards. So we're really going heavy on the air meta here now. It seems like the meta's developed from factory, mechs, P-gen, maybe another P-gen before factory, straight away into that second factory there. Boombot's coming out as well for Nimzo first, going for the Faber Snipes. Playing very aggressively, but down on the south spawn in lovely lavender. There's Diskraip. Bots into air, of course. Bots into more air thereafter. Canyon's quite an interesting map. It's quite tricky to lock down your proximal expansions. You've got to be on the ball because they're just a little bit too far away and with quite a number of approach vectors that make defending them a bit tricky. Not impossible, but certainly requires greater skill to master against aggressive players. You've also got a lot of air-only mechs. You've got some islands with mechs on them, like here as well. So you can decide perhaps to drop some Fabers over there. There we go. 3 Fabs moving together here from Nimzo for this expansion. Probably going to push down into this sort of equatorial mechs region. Get up some point defense. Are very valuable on maps like this. Diskraip also locking down the immediate expansions available. Going for the second bots first before the second and third air. Scouting around with the hummingbirds. And the fireflies too. Nimzo now pushing out with a few Fabs. Just about going to keep them alive, fortunately enough, to re-expand there. So you can either move down this middle bit here, try and lock down some of these mechs, or the alternative is to go down the other side, which is a nice sort of more compact corridor between the bases. Again, some few patches of lockdownable mechs. But then you get to the base. And there you are. Quite an airplay map. Oh, Fab. Oh, we moved back into the bomb. That wasn't good for Disc. Almost survived, but didn't quite. Nimzo there will be quite happy with that. Expanding in multiple different directions at once. The Faber counts there equal across the board. Equally the factories and the armies pretty much. At this stage in the game, not too much of a disparity. Disc, though, in the lead on that. Due to the greater number of docks floating around. I'm surprised we haven't seen some things like spark drops. I would have thought Disc would have taken the opportunity to have done that. Possibly with the 4th air factory coming up. Who knows? So the thing is, this map is quite large, but the metal density is actually quite low. Although then again, we've just watched a game on Phil's map, which was exactly the opposite in terms of metal. Large and abundance of metal. Whereas this is more tactical in terms of your metal. Ike Beniolorima. I've no idea how to pronounce that. But what are you looking for in the late game? Maybe some drops? Is that what you're referring to, perhaps? Aha. Some raids coming in from Nimzo. And Disc going up into the T2 bots. Interesting that we're going for the T2 ground rather than the T2 air on this map. Thank you very much. Stay hydrated, bot. I have been sipping. Oh no, Faber's endangered. So Nimzo, there we go. Pick off that Fab. Get him done. Maybe I need to bolster the amount of mechs in these expansions to make them more valuable, perhaps. Nimzo's done a good job, though, of expanding metal-wise outside of his base. Both players going for the T2 bots, though, at this stage. I have a feeling Disc is further along, indeed. 40% to 10. And the air factory counts are relatively comparable. 5, presumably to 5, I think, at this point. Yeah. There you go. Though we do have some other staging post factories around the place. And we've got a vehicle factory up on this side here on this corridor, which is going to start pressuring Nimzo going into the next part of this game. Particularly because that'll help Disc lock down these few mechs down here on the sort of equator region. Which is kind of what he's looking to do, and he's preventing Nimzo from expanding on this side too. Disc starting to just see the glimmers of an eco advantage. And out comes the air there. Nimzo starting to really pick it up now. Maybe we'll see some more air factories coming out from him in the next part. But he's trying to get up that T2 air first, T2 bots first. Disc, though, behind on the air game all of a sudden. Only 34 interceptors against Nimzo's 43. Doesn't want to engage that if he can avoid it. Instead, just wants Nimzo to keep running over Galata. That's quite nice for him. Thinning out the air. Doesn't look like Disc has really exploited his vehicle advantage here just yet. Ooh. Fortunate fabricators there. There was only one Dox floating around. But there we go. Our T2 bots are complete. Going up with the Slammers instead of Locusts. Locusts, of course, can go over lava, but there we go. We've got some from Nimzo instead. Let's follow those. See what they're going to do. From two angles there in our picture. In picture. Disc, though, still needs to get the air in check. But here is the problem. The Locusts coming in now. The Base is empty and ripe for the taking with these locusts. Just 5 of them. Nom 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 nom. Here we go. There's a slammer there. Fortunately enough. That could have been so bad if that slammer had not been there. That could have been the end of the game there for Disc. Excuse me. As I say, if that slammer hadn't been there, Nimzo would have been laughing. Go over the air though. Cover the line with the docks. Quite nice vision intel there. Across the board. Quite heavy bomber play there. Going into the T2 air now for Nimzo. Needs to try and re-expand. Haha! We've now got locusts from Diskraip. It's counter locust time. Nimzo kind of gave up on that whole locust play, but Nimzo now pushing out with the slammers down past the equator, and the air game supporting his slammers going further and further and further, and also going to raid Diskraip's economy here. So Disc, who did have a little bit of an advantage in the economy game, could potentially lose it here. Although it depends on how successful these locusts are going to be. If they run into this commander, not at all. Make that not at all. Oh, yeah, not at all. Too many slammers in the base. Unfortunate. You see, the locusts went straight for the base, but they passed on their way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 metal that could potentially have been raided. I am very surprised. That's an interesting use of air to scout over the base and lose most of your air in the process. Yes, Disc giving chase. Although the stacking of the air is kind of good for the Phoenix, it's got to be said. But now Nimzo with the air factories, so many of them now, 6 plus a T2. Whereas on the South Pole for Disc we've got 8 plus a T2. That's how all of a sudden he was able to contest it. Gunships coming out now too. Flub, do you like this map? Based on the way it's been played by these two players? Well, just generally in chat, what do you think? Too much metal? Not enough metal? Denser clumps of metal? Oh, there we go. Disc contesting the air quite nicely now, forcing Nimzo to turn tail and run back to base with the tail between his legs, going for vehicles now as well. Could we see drifters coming out of this, or will we see the play for the T2 vehicles? That's going to be interesting. Like it a lot as it is, Flub, or with some next changes? Second T2 air factory coming out now for Team Orange. Team Orange. Ah, Nimzo. And there we have it. Disc showing his air power, but still Nimzo there with a few more Phoenix, just giving him the edge. And a lack of air support now is going to mean these docks and slammers are softened up quite nicely by those bombers. Just about maybe raiding that expansion, but still the air cover was not there as it needed to be. Now Nimzo also pulling down. Ah, that was why the transition to vehicles for the spinners. Wise. Very wise move. Just enough to support the bot push down. And that perhaps is what Disc neglected there, which is why he lost quite a significant portion of his army at this stage. Going for a second T2 air factory now as well. Got a little blob force up there. Got some spinners, but now taken out. So now right for the picking. Could have moved in perhaps a little sooner, but Disc now on this side has managed to lock it down quite nicely with all the Galata and the factories. Which is going to make this flank here a little bit more of a threat for Nimzo going forward. Again, here lies the problem. Still the Galata in there, not Galata, Spinner. Spinners. Go trying to defend, but there's only the single gunship in there, which is gone now. The air support from Nimzo didn't need to do any more other than pick off that gunship, and now the damage can be done by the slammers as they push in. The fabs are gone, and the factories too. I wonder if that's going to be enough for a GG from Disc. As there's not really anything to contest the ground here. So now he's knocked down a few pegs in terms of the factory count. Meanwhile, Nimzo continuing to bolster the air, and what is this? Vanguard drops incoming. Hello, boyos. Is 3 enough? Is 3 enough? I think perhaps it is. For Nimzo, certainly. He's been doing this a lot on stream, apparently, and in ranked. Does Disc see the impending doom? Does the air come in from behind? Does the air snipe the Pelicans before they get to the commander? There are some Galata still floating around. Here comes the air. Are they going to snipe the Pelicans? Not quite! Oh, the micro there from Nimzo, but now he does not have the air superiority to be able to pull off that drop, but now Disc is wise to it. Nimzo again having to reassess his position. Second attempt maybe on the horizon. But equally now Nimzo ready to maybe push down the other side. He's got a lot of spare spinners now. And he's starting to bolster things in with his T2 vehicles. With those vanguards. And that's a thing. And next time he's going to have more vanguards ready to drop. The reason he was so wary to commit to that drop there is he only had 3. And with the way that anti-air prioritizes Pelicans and bombers, he probably wouldn't have got enough down to actually kill off a commander. But with, let's say, 7 or 8... even if 2 land, that is enough to kill a commander if they get next to him. Here we go. He's thinking about it. I'm surprised people haven't been using more locusts. They kind of gave one shot at it and then kind of thought, yeah, about that. Let's not bother. Oh, but look at this, look at this, look at this. There is some air here. There is some. There's only 3 ready to drop. Make that 3. Success. So close. Oh, a split second and he would have had 2 drops. Wow. But he's ready for another set. He's got 3 again ready. In comes the air, though. Unsuspecting Pelicans. Oh, but look at how many there are now. I wonder, are we going to see a Manhattan come out of here? I kind of want a Manhattan to just sort of slowly roll down. That could be quite amusing to watch. Disc needs to have some kind of next level strat for actually pushing back to a victory in this game. He's not really got anything for that. Hey, loads coming in and there's no air support. There's a drop. There's another and another and another, and that's the game. GG's. And that's what happens if you take your eye off the ball there, but he's still alive! He's still alive! It's not GG yet! It's not GG yet! Oh! He's on what? 2%. Oh, Nimzo is not happy. Here come the bombers. They're trying for the snipe. Here we go. And that's enough to finish it off. Where was Disc's air after all that? All of a sudden he didn't have any. Oh. Oh, goodness. Right. Nimzo, I've decided I can't play late game. Well, here's the thing. No one really bothered expanding into the middle. I wonder why. That puzzles me. That puzzles me. But that was a good game regardless. Very good game.